Seava, also known as Lisa Wolf, Cassis Amissus for the White Buffalo, Rainbow White Buffalo, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation. And I'm so blessed on this beautiful day to be talking with one of the men I consider to be one of our chiefs, uh, Chuck Atkins. Is
Hello.
So welcome, Chuck, to my morning, to our morning. How are you?
Well, I don't know that I'm a chief or anything like that.
Well, I say you are. It's an appointment. So you're one of the chiefs in my heart, man. I've known this man since 1990. Was it 1993 when you and
we go way back.
I think it was
Sure.
1993. Chuck
Hmm.
and Augie Delgado
Oh
and
yeah,
Ken
back in those days.
Cousins
Wow.
came to
Yeah.
Eugene,
Hmm.
and we went to this girl Maggie's house, and you guys taught us, gave
Hmm.
us a crash course in true history. And I
Well.
was like, it opened my eyes, and that's when I decided to drop out. And I actually then, for those who don't know, as my journey began, I ended up living with Chuck and his family. Well, that's a slave appellation with his people. Um,
Hmm.
and um, yeah, we've been friends a really long time.
Yeah,
His,
I guess we do. We go way back, don't we?
yeah, we do.
My.
Chuck's one of those people, when you meet him, you always want to know him. He's a keeper. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read, Chuck, the Declaration of the White Buffalo Nation, Rainbow White Buffalo Nation, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation. And after I read it, I'll explain a couple of things and then see how you feel about it. On this Mayan calendar long count day, 13.0.11.7.10, also known as March 23rd, 2024, let it be known that we have formed the private White, Rainbow Buffalo Nation, located in Nua Segovia, territory of the Nua people. We, like the buffalo, are inherently nomadic as we travel on the living body of our grandmother Earth. I, Seava, as the official founding grandmother, am the descendant of an original tribe, and am a voice for the Cassis Omissus, the sovereigns perpetually reigning, to whom we pledge allegiance. Grandmother Sky Woman, Grandmother Earth, and Grandmother Moon, whose sovereignty is eternal and unextinguishable for perpetuity, for they are the living law of the waterverse, and we are her embodiment. I do at their behest call all who are here for the mending of the hoop and healing of the earth to affirm alliance and stand with the White Buffalo Nation, Rainbow White Buffalo Nation, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation, and all our allies. We recognize the great law of peace unto Rowampum and invoke our right as savage, barbarian people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, and red, and our relatives of the air, water, soil, and elements, to form a tribal nation, to operate as a matrilineal, clan-based nation in alliance with and learning from the original matrilineal nations who abide by and in Sky Woman's great law of peace, and we stand as living beings upon the land, our mother. As an inherently sovereign, matrilineal, savage, barbarian nation, for the people of the four directions, white, black, yellow, and red, and the relatives of the air, water, earth, and elements, we stand with, we assert, and are protected by the great law of peace to Rewampum, Camel's Eye of Isis, and Eagle Bull treaties, and demand as daughters and sons of Great Spirit, Sky Woman, our right to be only subject to her great law of peace, which is the supreme law of this and all lands, which are her free living body, and throughout her mother, Sky Woman's eternal dream. We take refuge at the foot of the tree of peace and bury all weapons of war, be they physical, mental, or spiritual, and live in the great peace as we are here for the mending of the hoop and the healing of the earth. We honor, learn, and live by the highest truths of all original sacred paths at the behest of the White Buffalo Calf woman and her allies, and are learning to live by the matrilineal natural law clan system and declare we officially are a sovereign nation within the eternal sovereignty of Grandmother Earth, Grandmother Moon, and Sky Woman, whose children we are.
Mhm.
And it's been said verbally, so it stands. It hasn't been like sent to the, clerk treasurer or anything like that. But they know it. And they're all like,
Mhm.
okay, so what is she going to do now? And oh, one thing I wanted to explain to you is in matrilineal government, to use that without the concept of mind control, um, in matrilineal,
Natural,
in
natural.
matrilineal, you
Is
have,
that mother?
yes,
Natural. Okay.
yes, in which reflects natural law.
Female.
Yes.
Female.
Well, the clan mother is the head, and she appoints the chiefs who speak and act for her. So, as in a scene, that would mean like that Mother Mary and the Magdalene, the Council of Women, were the clan mothers for my nation, and Yeshua was their chief. Okay, but part of what we've done with this declaration is step outside of their jurisdiction because all churches answer to Rome. They've all been co opted. And
Yeah.
so the peacemaker is hidden within here by implication. And we stand with the Mohawks who have told me that some within their circles believe that Yeshua was the peacemaker and that Mary Magdalene was the calf woman. I didn't make that up. I've heard that. So, and I agree with that. I stand with that. That there's peace between our tribes, and that. So anyway, that is the basis of the nation. So
Mhm. And what's the name again?
the I'm claiming three names, and there's like three tiers: White Buffalo, Rainbow White Buffalo, and Rainbow Buffalo Nation, which is
Mhm.
really a banner to put in front of heaven on Mother Earth. And I may actually write the declaration for heaven on Mother Earth also.
Mhm.
I may establish that nation, you know. But I
Mhm.
mean, why not? Anyway, I'm busy with this right now.
Mhm.
So,
Listen, dear heart, I didn't know I'd be talking to you for a long time. I was just trying to get back to you.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just got up out of my bed. I was doing some reading myself.
All right. Well, let me send you that recording
Okay.
um, of Sav. And do I have permission to share this conversation?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
what we just said was we haven't said anything really yet, except that I'm honoring your thoughts, especially when you bring it into uh, so-called America,
right.
the true names,
Well,
the real
America
names.
actually was the true name of the continent. So we are
Wait a minute,
Americans.
hold on. You lost me there.
Okay, a
America's
lot. They
best.
like to say that it was
Um,
some Vespucci. No, no, no.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was the name of North, South, and Central America. This was the Americas Empire. Okay? So we are
Well,
all Americans. We're not losing that.
America's Vespucius was
No,
American. I mean, was
no, it's a lie. They tried to steal the name and claim it. No, that's Meredith Quinn, who's the grandson of the last great matriarch of the Dakota Empire. He tells the truth. This has always been America.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Isn't
I
that
never
a
thought about.
relief? Isn't that
I
a
never.
relief?
Yeah, it's kind of a relief. Yeah, because I always, oh boy.
Is now
Okay, I need to know
that's
more
happy
about that.
news. I know. Well, when
Yeah.
next time you're on with me, come and we're talking with Eagle as well. Um,
Mhm.
we'll bring that up, and he can tell you in more detail. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
glad to
bet you
hear
a
that
million
because that was,
dollars, Chuck. I'd bet you a
huh?
million. I'd bet you $1 million. That's how much I think this is true.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm thinking the Pope and Rome and all the rest of it,
No,
and them building those ships and going around the world and claiming claiming people's lives and their lands and their babies and their
they're
oh boy,
pirates. That's why they're the
this
Skull and Bones Society.
yeah, they're pirates, yeah.
They're
Wow.
space pirates. This is Star Wars. And
Oh.
fortunately, we are on the good side. Whew, phew. I wouldn't want to be on their side. They're just all criminally insane. That's what we're like, oh, God.
Yeah, criminally
Oh,
insane.
my
Yeah.
God. Did you really
Oh
just
my.
do that? Did you just really say that? Did you really just eat that baby? Oh,
Oh
gross.
wow.
I mean, let's get real. Why we need this change and why people need to join with us. Unless you're into eating babies and killing people and getting pleasure, unless you're a sadist. And if you
Yeah.
are a sadist or a masochist, we can help you heal. Okay, that's
Yeah.
not your true nature.
Mm.
Remember, I'll close on this. Remember that movie, you haven't seen it probably, but other people have, Van Helsing, where this guy goes over to like Transylvania. They're being invaded by vampires and werewolves. And this girl's brother, who's this really awesome guy, gets bit by a werewolf and he turns into a monster. Do you think that girl wants to destroy her brother? No, she just wants her brother to turn back
She
into
wants
the.
them back.
She
Yeah.
wants her prince back. She wants her
She
brother.
wants.
That's our
Yeah.
message to all the baby eaters. Okay, but
Uh.
yeah, you have to stop eating babies.
uh.
Believe you can eat the pure light of Creator, but you have to apologize. Oh, and here's a very simple tool. It's called Ho'oponopono. It's a gift from Hawaii. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm
mm.
sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Mm. Wow. Poor Hawaii. Look at that. Look at her.
Oh, her sovereignty is rising. A lot of things are happening. Remember, there's two paths, and the red road is still very much alive,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just trying to heal the other, trail. So,
Yeah.
so we have two tracks. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's happening. It's happening. Heaven on Mother Earth now. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you everyone for having joined Chuck Atkins and I for this brief Mending the Hoop private counsel, which we're going to share with all of you. And I'm going to put the link to the recent conversation I had with Seava America. And we have potentially 8 passports available in this first batch that Sav is preparing, which I believe are available for $150. You have to reach out to me.
A passport that works, huh?
Yes.
In that system. Huh.
Well,
Okay.
it's for all of us sovereign people.
Uh-huh.
Because we're all children of the Most High, made in that image, which
Mm-hmm.
means we are, in a sense, replicas and with the same worthiness of respect as our mother and father in heaven.
Yeah, I tried to. I did do that sovereignty back in my sovereignty days.
Well, you haven't stopped.
And I still have that passport. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that you're well, you're keeping up on things because I have not.
Well, Chuck, you laid so much of the ground. I remember hours I spent, because Chuck is, the funny thing in the movement is, a lot of the information was gleaned by people like John Birch Society and really right-wing organizations who tend to be
Political.
anti-Semitic and anti-black. And yet, Chuck is, to use the vernacular, black. I'm, to use the vernacular, Jewish. And we're the ones, the only good Jew, the only, is a dead Jew, or, no Jews, no dogs, no blacks used to be the signs on the fancy places down in Florida when my mom was a little girl. And so I learned about sovereignty from a black man and a Hispanic man and a Jewish man. The three wise men came to Eugene.
Well, we all come from the same place.
Yes, we do. Your mama. Yeah. Where you come from?
Yeah.
I come from my mama.
Yeah.
So anyway, special shout out to Sophia Stewart. We have a chair for you at there's the chief at the council, there's like a man and a woman. And so if Sophia wants to give up her seat, she needs to let me know, because she has a seat in that direction. And then, there's like so there's 8 core seat holders, and Chuck is one of the core seat holders for his nations. Yeah. Sweet.
Well, I spoke with her only for a little while, and she sounded busy, and she had a little girl with her. I'm not sure if that's her little girl or
her granddaughter. Or who knows?
Granddaughter, perhaps. Yes. And I know she's busy. Always.
Yes. Yes, she is.
She's a thinker.
Oh, she's such a blessing to us all. And as much as they fight, her and the Wachowskis, there's so much good information that's been released through those movies.
Yeah.
But I really hope they give her, the respect that she's due, because she really is the oracle, and we all are, but she has given us so much truth, and we're so grateful for that.
Yeah, something to think about, something really, to bite into, and to... it's real.
Yeah, and we remembered that conversation we had last summer, you, me, Dana Dudley, and Sophia, and it is up on YouTube, the audio. I didn't edit it at all, so it's, and it was like I was in the backyard of a lodgekeeper's house. So anyway, blessings to everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have more of these impromptu recordings. I think it's a good way. We don't have to have big formal meetings all the time, but we can still move forward in freedom. Heaven on Mother Earth now. Chuck, will you do the closing benediction, please?
I'm not good at things anymore, dear heart.
Oh, Chuck, just say the prayer of your heart.
Oh,
I know you can.
Oh boy, if only you knew what I've been going through.
Well, pray about that, and let it be for all the people going through. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
I can say this, that I'm looking at this planet Earth right now, and how it's being destroyed right in front of us every day. And some places, I mean, it's really hot war, and here it's more of a psychological war,
Yes.
all these things that are going on, all these things that are going on in the different governmental under governmental auspices.
Yes.
And people are following it. We got these elections that have come up, and all these.
What do you think of all that? What do you think about all that and Trump?
It's just worse.
Yeah.
Because they're so ignorant. They're ignorant.
How so?
It's ignorance compounded.
Why they think they're very smart? Why do you say they're ignorant?
Oh, why do I say they're ignorant?
Yes.
No, they depend on that money system. They're locked into it, and they never talk about it in truth. Ever.
Yes.
And so it's just it's all based on a lie and ignorance. And
well, they are the latter-day Roman Empire, are they not?
Well, yeah, it's still the same old thing. It's from the same place,
You
you
know
know.
what's so weird, Chuck, is I like to, because the Romans were really good with their sculptures. If they did a bust of you, it looked like you. Okay? So, and I learned this when my godmother, Judith Malina, who I used to say she was like Diotima, who was the one who taught Plato about the stairway to heaven. And so I went, and she passed on my birthday a few years ago, and I was doing a eulogy for her to post on Facebook. And I went and I looked up Diotima images, and I found a bust. It looked
Hmm.
just like Judith.
Hmm.
I mean, just like Judith. So I decided to do the same thing, and I looked up Nero, the guy who fiddled while Rome burned.
Yeah. Right.
You know
Yeah.
who it
Well.
looked like?
Yeah.
You know who it,
Yeah.
guess who it looked like?
I'm trying to remember what he might have looked like, and I just don't can't quite grab
Well,
it.
after we talk, look it up, but I'll tell you, he looks like Donald Trump.
Oh, interesting.
I thought it was
Yeah.
really interesting. So, I don't know, somehow we're like the children and the emperor wears no clothes, going, can't you see? He has no clothes on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm so sorry, because I have friends who just think he's the cat's meow and, and he's part of the freedom. Yeah, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
cat waiting to eat all the mice.
Yeah. Well, he's just another sinner.
I mean, how can you defend a man who was having an affair
Yeah.
while his wife is giving birth?
Yeah.
I think, or she was definitely pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Well, he certainly there's nothing responsible about him. He should be with his wife, and with his coming son. Oh, yeah, I guess it was a son. They had.
Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know
Baron.
all about the time travel.
And they call him Baron, too.
Well, and then there was the book that showed that, because they got a hold of Tesla's technology. So they started bopping around. They're like, they've got, it's like, I'd rather think of him as like Darth Vader.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know nothing about him, the person.
I was offered a job in New York by a PR firm.
New Yorker,
No, Chuck, I was actually offered a job when I was, being, in that world, when I was assistant to the publisher for Arbor House, and they had to, in New York. And you remember I quit that job because they decided to help whitewash Richard Nixon and publish a book called No More Vietnams. And my mom was, I was raised by parents who knew better, and I couldn't help that. So I quit my job. And anyway, while I was working there, I actually was interviewing. I was looking to change jobs anyway. So I got sent for an interview at this public relations firm that represented Donald Trump, Leona and Harry Helmsley, and Governor Cuomo, and Mayor Koch, who were all fighting in the press, but they were all represented by the same PR firm. And it was beautiful offices, it was a great salary, and I could have used the raise because, when you work in publishing in New York, you're supposed to be old family. It's usually old family that's let in, and they have money, so they don't need a salary. So my salary when I was assistant to the publisher of a major book house that published Martha Stewart, Sally Jesse Raphael, Elmore Leonard, Anne Rice, Whitley Strieber, all kinds of people, I only made $16,000 a year. I had to have roommates my first year of marriage because I couldn't afford our apartment. We had a 2-bedroom apartment on 88th and Lexington in Germantown that I got, from my brother because he had worked for Booz Hamilton and these people he knew. Anyway, they offered me this job to help make these people look good. I mean, they bragged about who their clients were to me in the interview. And when they offered me the job, and I went there, of course, in my little blue button-down suit with my nice shoes on, in my uniform.
New Yorker.
Like suits, I went suited up, and I told them very respectfully that I couldn't take the job, and I couldn't help them make Donald Trump and Leona and Harry Helmsley in particular look good, because this was 1986, and there were more and more people living on street grates. And when I would go out of my apartment in the morning in my tennis shoes with my respectable low heels, my office shoes, in my bag, so I could go across the street and catch the Lexington down to 45th on Lexington to the office, there would be a man sitting where the warm air came out from the subway.
From the subway, yeah.
And most people would look away.
I remember that very great.
Most people would look away, and I knew that if I looked away and became your typical New Yorker, that I would lose my soul. And then I ended up going to work for Legal Aid's Homeless Family Rights Project, and with homeless kids at the Prince George Hotel and in Midtown, and with the Children's Aid Society. And I became downwardly mobile because I kept saying no to jobs for ethical reasons. And I found it, knowing that Donald Trump had, and this was before The Apprentice, okay? But this was when gentrification was happening. And my response, instead of going to work for them, was to go work at Legal Aid to defend the rights of homeless families, and take them in as needed. Because they were putting poor Asians, poor blacks and Hispanics and white people out on the street they'd buy up these old tenements and push hundreds and thousands of people out. And then, and we were defending their rights in court. And then in the afternoons, I would go after work to this welfare hotel in Midtown, and I did mixed media art therapy with all these children through, Children's Aid Society. And so I watched as they built him up. I was still living in New York and New Jersey, like through the whole Iran-Contra thing. And I didn't know what you taught me, right? But I knew something wasn't right,
Did you ever meet his brother?
Whose?
By any chance? Trump's brother.
No, I never. My cousin Joe, who did the restoration of the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, Thiebagar and Sons, he was hired by Trump to redo a balustrade. And he said that Trump was really rude to him and anti-Semitic, and he didn't that's all I know. I never met him. I've had a couple of dreams with him, that, I don't know about you, but I often have dreams, with presidents. I've had a couple of really interesting dreams with Elon Musk. So,
yeah, that's an interesting guy. He's a little bit naive, but I like his heart,
I'll tell you, I had a dream. I was at Elon Musk's house, and I actually had been on his property in Bel Air. I planted ground cover. My friend had the contract, and I went to work for a day at Elon's place in Bel Air. But I've had a couple of dreams with him, and one of them was I was hanging out at his house. It had like an upstairs loft, and it was all light. And all of a sudden, my younger daughter, burst in, attacking me, coming at me to kill me. And they had to restrain her. And then they ripped her shirt open, and she had been transgendered.
Oh, no.
They had turned her into a man. And Elon Musk's people had to protect me from my daughter. That was quite a vivid and interesting dream. And I am presently estranged from my daughter, and she's brainwashed and mind controlled. So let's say a special prayer for all of our brothers and sisters, our nieces and nephews, and everyone who is under the spell.
Yeah.
That they be freed. that our
Yeah.
relatives come home, and that there be peace on earth and heaven on earth, and that we respect the chief of our salvation, Yeshua.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you call his name properly.
Oh gosh, there's no, that's why if don't ever call me Jewish. There's
Yeah.
no hard J in Hebrew. I'm Jewish, and I'm
Yeah.
actually tribe of Benjamin on my father's side. And, you know, so.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
anyway, let me light some sweet grass here quickly, and I'm going to say another prayer, and
Okay.
then let Chuck go, cause,
Okay,
and
good, all right.
I too. So
How your other daughter just before
they're
you go
not
there?
speaking to me. They're
Well,
in
neither
the
one.
matrix. They're
So,
in the
okay.
matrix.
Okay.
And so this is a prayer I pray by the power vested in me by the Holy Spirit. I pray that all of our relatives who are being held in the matrix, in the dream that is a nightmare, that they awaken, and that the circle be not broken any longer, that the hoop be mended. I say this prayer in the name of the Mother, Father, and Holy Spirit.
Yeshua. Toda.
Peacemaker. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. It's good to hear your voice again, sweetheart.
Yes, let's speak soon. I'll send you that so you can watch, and I think you'll be very happy by what Seava is bringing forward for all of our liberation.
Toda ya.
Till then, shalom.
Shalom.
Okay, Chuck.
Okay, honey.